It's taking its. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joy Lacherie, and I have with me today as our interviewing guest, John Case. Hi, John. And
Hello.
we'll be talking to you in just a minute. I do have to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss Studio, operated by Chad Quist out of Edgewood, Washington. He's primarily set up for drummers and guitarists, but he's been producing people's music for some time now. He's got a whole row of cases, cases and CDs on his shelves. So if you have any needs, regardless of what it is, to give him a call. He's in Edgewood, Edgewood, Washington. And you can reach him either through Luscious Moss Studio on Facebook or Chad Quist. And with that, let's get started. Hi, John.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine. I heard your last night he had a gig over at CCR.
I did.
In Snohomish.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I got to see a video, a little bit of it. One of the people there, I thought it was Becky Wilson, but I really don't know, posted it and people were dancing. So that's a plus.
Yes, dancing is always good.
All right. So what I'd like to know is how you got into music. And obviously you played a while with the Davinoes. I don't know if they were called the Davinoes then, but did you start before that? And pardon?
Yes, it was the Davinoes.
Davinoes?
It was okay.
Yeah. So how did you get into music and what were your early aspirations and what did you play? Who were your influences?
Yeah, so I started out really young. I think I sent you that picture of me with my first guitar when I was 7 years old, right? And yeah, I know, it's pretty funny picture. So, but I was just drawn to music. And when I heard music on the radio, it did something to me inside that I just drawn to it naturally. And I just always wanted to play and sing. And so I started, I was about 7 years old playing guitar, but I wasn't serious about it or anything. I just kind of played a little bit, not really a musical family, Okay. My dad would listen to AM talk radio and anything. But my mom was really supportive about the music thing. I was about 13 and I was still playing. And we're going to put together a band, the teenagers are going to put a band together. And of course, no one wanted to play the bass. So I said, I'll play the bass. And what a good decision that was, because I just love playing the bass. I know my bass brothers out there can know what I'm talking about. We own a frequency and share it with the kick drum, but we own this whole world, and it's just really fun to play bass live. So I started playing bass and, did that, played one of my first shows. I was 14 and then, kept playing and joining bands and going out and watching bands and seeing people like, Jerry Batista play guitar and, Blonde Taiwan or whatever the bands were. And I was like, oh man, I really want to be up there on that stage. So just practiced and got better and finally joined a band called Fugitive back in
was that before Jerry's band?
Oh yeah, that was way before. That was back in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's when all that rock and roll music was coming out of Legendary Studios.
I played Fred Holzman. He's incredible. Fred.
Yes.
So Fred was in the band Fugitive. So I was fortunate enough to be able to join that band, and we did really well, and just kind of grew from there.
What kind of music were they playing, John?
Back in the day, it was we had to play the music that were being played in the club. So there was some disco kind of songs, but there was also some hard rock songs too. Yeah. But you got playing songs that people dance to.
Yeah.
People were really into dancing. And of course, back then we were smoking in the clubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was back when I get home from a show, I have to get undressed in the garage. Leave my clothes outside.
Did you have a wife?
Yes, wife.
I can. Yeah.
That's probably why I was doing it out in the garage. Probably walked in the house one time and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I played in clubs. So when I first started in 2000, and they were still smoking in clubs, and your hair and your skin and your clothes. Oh,
Good Lord.
yeah,
It's got into your gear too.
yeah,
That was a big thing. If you're going to buy any gear and you wanted it to be in
yeah,
your house in the studio, you have to ask it, has it been played in a club?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we always stored ours outside, so we didn't notice it in
Right.
the house. Anyway, so who is your inspiration back then? Do you have anybody that stood out in their music at all, or
I wouldn't say any one thing in particular. Just back then, we had the 8-track tapes. Do you remember those? I think that they were about 18 inches by 4 inches. They were huge. And so my dad he bought 2 tapes, and he wasn't really that into music, but he said, okay, you can pick out a tape. So he picked out Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, which is
yes, I love
unless you're a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah,
every song. So I picked out Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Who was that by? Do you remember?
All of a sudden went completely dead in my brain. BJ Thomas. There we go.
Okay.
I got it. So BJ Thomas's greatest hit. So I listened to that over and over and over.
We got a couple of comments here. I think we got the Rodster on here. Rodney Leonard. He says, hi, John.
Hey, Rod. Uncle Rodney. That's what I call him.
Okay. He says, I miss you both, John and Joy. Now, who is that? Okay. Put your name on it. I don't know who said that. So when this Raindrops Keep Falling in Your Head, I remember that song. I love it.
Yeah. I play it all the time because I do my single. I play with the Hot Rodster Band, which I absolutely love. Yes. They're not only they're really talented, but they're just great people.
Well, that is a fact. I can attest to that. Oh, Krista. Oh, okay. Anyway, I did see you at the, what was that, Angel of the Winds that night that you guys performed at the casino there, and it was really good. I enjoyed it.
And it's a fun band.
Yeah, I have to say that was very professional. Rodney is very professional, but everything that he does in the band, when you're a fan looking at you guys, is fun. He makes people feel like they're part of it.
Yep. That's the whole deal. That's the whole idea. You want people to feel like they're part of the show. Exactly.
And he just draws you into it. You all do. All great singers. That night you didn't have your regular drummer, I don't believe, or lead.
I think everybody was there except for, that's what Drew wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we were fortunate enough to get John Owenbring, who is, I played with John when I was 19 years old right after he first moved up here.
Really?
So I've known these people for a long time.
Yeah. Yes. Where were we? We were at you were in the Fugitives, you were playing music. Where'd you go from, John?
I was playing music, but I also had a day job. Yeah, that was one thing with my career. I've always had a day job. So I started working with my dad. I was right around 13. He had an aerospace manufacturing business that he started in the 70s. So I started doing that with him. And then, right after I graduated high school, I went to work full time. So we subcontracted for Boeing and Rockwell. And eventually I took over the company, and then we sold it in 2000. So it's been quite a road. Yeah. So I would work, 50 plus hours a week. And sometimes we would play Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Fugitive.
Yep. Yeah. When we were out there, we played Friday, Saturday, and Sundays.
Yes. I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a place we played called the Dragon Palace, and I called it the Dragon Ass.
Yeah, by that time.
Because by Saturday, it was
Yeah.
we were tired.
So when at what point in time did you run into the Devonos where you began playing bass for them?
Yeah, so I was in a band called Fugitive, and we were doing really good. It was a
You and
great
Fred
band.
both.
Yeah, Fred and I. And then Fred all of a sudden decided he was going to quit Fugitive and he was going to go play in this band called Groovestock. And I was just blown away. I was like, you're kidding me. What is wrong with you? Why would you want to do that? And he was dead set on it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go play. And then I went and I saw the band Groovestock play. And that was, Jerry Batista, Mark Schaefer, two, icons in this area. And I went and saw them play, and I instantly realized why Fred would want to quit Fugitive. The first time I heard Jerry Batista play the guitar, it was like, I love you and hate you at the same time. He's the most incredible player that I've ever heard in my life. And I thought, I want to be in this band. And it probably took about a year before we started the Davenos. The Groovestock was kind of going away, and Jerry wanted to start another band, and so we all got together and decided to put together the Davenos. So Jerry's brainchild, and Fred kind of recruited me again. He recruited me for Fugitive, and then he recruited me for the Davenos.
Well, I was looking at that picture you sent, and I can't remember if I posted it or not. I think I did.
It's pretty funny. We were young.
Oh my gosh, you were so young. Can I even ask you what you were, how young you were in that picture?
Mid-30s.
In that picture, the three of you with you and Fred and Jerry, you were, you looked like teenagers.
Yeah.
Were you teenagers?
No. I was in my 30s.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You look awfully young.
Everybody that I play with is, since I started, they're usually a lot older than me. No, don't take that as a slam, Jerry. I know Jerry's probably good. I didn't mean that like that, Jerry. But everybody, I always aspired to play with people that were better than me.
Yeah.
So I always push myself. And so I guess to answer your question, I was in 30s, 30-ish.
I would have carded you.
Yeah. We looked kind of young. And then, what happened?
I had great fun with that. I took it to Oxford when I went out there I believe it was last Tuesday. And I walked up to the bandstand. I showed Jerry on my phone that picture. And first thing out of his mouth was, show Larry. Larry Walker. So apparently he wanted him to see it. And then one of the gals that come out there, Libby, she follows them, and she asked me to send it to her, so she has that picture.
It's pretty funny.
Great fun.
Yeah, but that was a great band. We had a lot of.
How long did you play?
I was there a little over 4 years, I think. I think it was about 4 years. Yeah.
Where'd you go from there?
Well, this is where the story gets interesting.
Oh,
okay. And I don't mind talking about it because I talk to people about it all the time.
Okay.
It's just I had a little problem with alcohol and drugs.
Most rockers do.
Those are my band friends. I hit the rail. I went off the rails. Poor Jerry had to fire me because I got so bad. So I had a little problem and kind of stayed stuck, in addiction it was quite a while. It was a good 6-7 years. And got really sick. And they gave me about a month to live. And then I decided maybe I should stop drinking. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, right? So I went to treatment, and while I was in treatment, I was watching the counselors, and I thought, I think this is something I want to do. I think I want to be a drug and alcohol therapist. So I graduated treatment, enrolled in college, got my degree in addiction studies, and I've been a counselor for the last 8 years. So I've been doing
That's
that,
amazing.
helping people get through, because I hit rock bottom. There was nowhere, there was only one more place for me to go, and that was dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get that rock bottom. So trying to help people and stop it before it gets there, right? Stop the destruction. And so I work in patient behavioral health, and that's when I started doing music therapy. It was about 8 years ago. So I just asked my boss, because there's a inpatient facility that I started working at about 4 years ago. And I just talked to my boss. I said, hey, do you think we can do a therapeutic music group? And he's like, sure. So I just went in there with my guitar and did guitar karaoke.
Yeah.
And put up on we have a great big screen. It's like 80, 90 inches. I don't know. It was a very long screen. So I put all the words up. So it's a sing along with John. So I started doing that it was about 4 years ago. And it just sort of grew from there. And that's when I started getting back into music. So I took almost a decade or so of playing music. Just, I had to get my head right before I got back into it.
Yeah. I hear you.
It's not easy to be around a bunch of people that are drinking when
That's
you're
right.
not drinking. You got to be ready to be able to handle that. And I got to a point I'm ready to handle that. So I'm back.
What a journey, John. That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what did you graduate with? A degree in counseling, or did you get a
addiction studies?
You what?
Addiction studies.
Oh, okay.
So then you have to get licensed through the Department of Health and all that good stuff to be a licensed therapist. So,
well, that's amazing. I have to say, from the mother part of me, I'm proud of that. That's quite an accomplishment.
Thank you.
And I think it shows in your music. Speaking of your music, before we get on to how you got into Rodney's band. Hi, Rosie. Rosie, one of my friends, are out there.
Hello.
Well, I lost my train of thought, Rosie. You blew my mind.
Well, as far as my songwriting.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to go into your. I love your song.
I started writing my own stuff, when I was really young, and it just sort of kept doing it and writing songs, and songs come to me and I write them. So they just get into my head, and all of a sudden,
I'll sit put them down. Well, I like the one, If I Could Fly. And the one about the duct tape. I don't remember exactly.
Duct tape man.
And there's one about your dad. Something about a dad.
Tell me, Dad.
That's it.
Tell me, Dad. So I write from real life experience, So the duct tape man, which is really a slam, against how stupid we are with duct tape.
I love duct tape.
On a roll, I just use them. I use it all the time.
Yes.
Like anytime I look at something, I was like, oh, don't throw it away. I can fix it. Even a rake. It'll be a rake. You get a $14 rake, and it's got 3 layers of duct tape on it. Men are stupid when it comes to duct tape.
No, they're wise.
Well, yeah, but it can get ridiculous.
Well, we used to watch a Canadian comedy by a guy named Red Green.
Yes, I'm very familiar.
And he said, if you're not good looking, at least the girls will find you handy.
Yeah.
I had to forbid my husband from watching that because he was getting a little far out there. I said, no, not that. He fixed mic stands and all kinds of stuff with it. And I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I was in my studio, and I lived up in Arlington at the time, and had acreage and horses, and my daughter did 4-H and all that.
Nice.
And yeah, and she came into the studio, and I looked down, and she had duct tape wrapped around her boot. And instantly I looked at that and thought, wow, she's a genius. I was so proud. It was like, you fixed it with duct tape. And that's when Duct Tape Man hit me. I realized how stupid I am. So Duct Tape Man came out in about 15 minutes.
I was a scuba diver. I came from the Minnesota, Wisconsin area. And we didn't have what couldn't afford a wetsuit. The college, when I was taking the courses, didn't have a wetsuit. So when we went down into Lake Michigan in early May, it would get very cold on our dives. So we would take duct tape and tape our suit so that the water couldn't get in. It always did, but at least it kept some of it out.
Right.
So moving from your songwriting, do you have any songs out there that are actually on CD and published where you're promoting them on different streaming sites? What?
No, I'm not there yet. I get, I should be a little more, technological, techno savvy. And I'm just, I have it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
As far as I've gotten, a lot of the stuff that I have, isn't done in a studio. I have some stuff that I did back in the studio and, spent all the money, did the whole thing, and it went right to the bottom of the charts. So I just, now I record, I just do singing guitar and just, singing guitar player type songs, acoustic type. Which, at some point, if I could go into a studio and jazz them up a little bit, that would be great. But for right now, no, don't really. I should, though.
I know a place that can do that. Read the bottom of the screen. He's reasonable. Yes. He's reasonable. I couldn't do it. Anyway.
It takes some money.
Yeah. I was listening to a Nashville channel, I think it's like 101 something, blah, 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 in my car. And I was listening to all these artists, and I turned to my husband and I said, I think John Case made better music than these guys out of Nashville.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm finding out more and more that the local musicians who put music out there, every bit as good, if not better. And it's really a shame that the streaming thing is a little more advanced, where independent artists can get more recognition and dollars for all the hard work that they put in producing this stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of talent in this area.
Yeah, there is everywhere you go.
So many talented players out there in this area. I mean, when you go out and see a band, and just the level of musicianship it's been incredible. I mean, we've lived through the COVID thing, and now it seems to be coming back really, really strong.
Yeah. Only it's a little hard to get in if you have been out for a while. It's a little harder to get in. I find that my music is, I'm trying to keep it to where it's still on the radio, and these artists are still doing this music rather than doing country that's dated, so to speak, if it ever is dated. And it's a challenge. I got another comment here. It says, Rachel Hoover says, I haven't met John yet. No. Looking forward to hearing him soon. Okay, look up Hot Rodster Band and you'll find John. Also, do you have a website or a place where they can see your solo acts, John?
Yeah. If you go to the YouTube, I guess can I type it in here?
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if I can put in a comment. No,
probably not.
But anyway, it's if you just do a search, John Case YouTube, I should come up.
Okay, and it's CASE.
Yeah,
like it sounds. Case.
Right. So guitar case, bass case.
We covered some of the stuff in your background about what you were doing and how you were getting there. Your music sounds country to me. It's the stuff you write.
It kind of does, and I don't know why. That sort of has been coming out. maybe it's because I moved up to Arlington and I had the horses and I had this influence.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the country kind of side just seems to come out naturally. So I just, instead of fighting it, I just went with it because I was doing pop and rock and I was singing all kinds of stuff. And
especially with the Davinos. I mean,
I was doing all that, all that stuff that Greg sings. I used to sing it. And, Greg is amazing.
Yes. What a voice. I mean, he's like a powerhouse.
Yes.
I was over at the Oxford doing a jam, and he was up there playing with me and with Jerry, right? He got on the mic to harmonize with me, and that powerful voice came out.
Yeah.
My mind went totally blank.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the words. I didn't know where I was. He just blew me away.
He can sing, and he can play, but he's a really, really sweet, nice guy too.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah. I think that's the most important part about being a musician.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be able to play your instrument. You got to be able to play the song.
Yeah.
But I've been fortunate enough to play in bands where everybody's just, they're just great people. They're my best friends, that I play with.
Yes, it should be. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, John, I thought you were going to give us a song. So are you ready to do that?
Oh, you want me to play a song?
Yeah. I have to apologize to the people who are going to be listening when John plays that this is not a professional setup, and streaming it is never going to sound like it would if you were sitting in a chair right in front of him.
No.
But I'm going to leave you while you do this, John. You won't see me. I'll be here, but I'm going to bow out while you play. Okay?
All right. Can you still see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see and hear you. You can't see me when I do it.
You can hear me. This one's called "Tell Me, Dad." It's a song I wrote for my dad. When I was young, the best times I had was hanging out with my best friend Dad. No other place that I'd rather be. He was putting me to bed one night. I said, wait a minute, Dad, before you turn out that light. There's a few things I don't know. Can you take a seat? He sat down on the edge of the bed and listened to me. Tell me, Dad, why is the water blue? How many stars are up in the sky? Tell me about that time when you were a boy. Where do dogs go when they die? Tell me why that lady's crying, why our kids are living in the street. Tell me how that cow jumped over the moon. Can they do that, Dad? Please tell me. Tell me, Daddy, one more time tonight. I grew up and I left home. When I get a chance, I call my dad on the phone. He said, it's good to hear your voice. Thanks for calling me. A few years later, Dad passed away. When I'm in town, I go and visit his grave. Hello there, Dad. Can I take a seat? Even though he didn't answer back, no, he listened to me. Tell me, Dad, why is the water blue? How many stars are up in the sky? I'll tell you about that time when I was a boy. Now what should I do with my life? I know why that lady was crying, why her kids are living in the street. Thank you, Dad, for being my best friend. You were always there for me. Tell me, Daddy, one more time tonight. I fell in love, then I settled down. Gonna raise my son in that same small town. There's no other place that I'd rather be. Now I was putting him to bed one night. He said, wait a minute, Dad, before you turn out that light. There's a few things I don't know. Can you take a seat? Even though he didn't answer back, I know he listened to me. Tell me, Dad, why is the water blue? How many stars are up in the sky? Tell me about that time when you were a boy. Where did dogs go when they die? Now tell me why that lady's crying, why her kids are living in the street. Tell me how that cow jumped over the moon. Can they do the dead? Please tell me. Tell me, Daddy, one more time tonight. One more time tonight. Ta-da.
Bravo, John. It brought me to tears. That was so sad. It's sad, but it's not. You know what I mean? I feel that. I can relate to it. We do have a comment from Rose that said, I've heard John at the CCR a couple of times.
Okay.
He's really a good player. They enjoyed your music.
Oh, that's wonderful. How nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I just read a comment said, don't lose your day job.
Where'd you see that?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, because I didn't see it. No. Well, I hope you don't lose your day job because I like what you're doing.
Right.
But
you got to keep a day job. That's my advice to anybody that's thinking about becoming a musician. Don't quit your day job yet.
Yeah, it doesn't make money.
No, and delivering pizza is not a day job.
Well, a lot of people say being a musician isn't, but it is.
Unless you're a drummer. If you're a drummer, then delivering pizza is a real job.
I'll tell Doug McGrew that.
My drummer friends are gonna hit me when they see me.
Yeah. We had another comment says, beautiful, John. So they liked your song.
Thank you.
So what were you doing during COVID? I mean, you're a counselor, you're a musician.
Yeah, well, we were considered the necessary or business, so we didn't get shut down. We just kept going. It was not fun at all because you're working healthcare, so you're constantly being tested. You're wearing masks. So I was still performing music therapy. So I came up with a face shield.
Oh yeah.
And I had my wireless mic inside the face shield.
Cool.
And it was horrible. And yeah, we would get, somebody would test positive and we'd shut the whole facility down and reopen it. It was a mess. But I was still every single week, I was still playing music.
Wow. Yeah.
Nobody else we were the only show in town. Yeah.
Well, hurrah. I mean, that's great.
I know. Yeah. So
I get to ask a question. I know there's a lot of alcohol and drugs in music, and maybe not so much anymore. I really don't know because I'm not part of it.
Yeah.
But do you ever get depressed about? I mean, this kind of personal question. You don't have
okay. That's okay.
You ever get depressed
about not being able to drink?
No. With how many people struggle with different kinds of addictions.
Right. I wouldn't say depressed. It's sympathetic.
Yeah.
because I understand what it's like, right? So I have a lot of sympathy for people that are stuck, because that's basically what you are. You're just stuck, and that's what addiction means. That's a definition. It's enslaved by, bound to. That's what addiction does. Is it gets under your skin and it won't let you go. And so when I see people that are stuck, I have a lot of sympathy for them. And if anybody is, if I can get and stay sober, me, anybody can get and stay sober. Sometimes you have that feeling like there's no way out. There's no way I'll get out of this. And it's not true. You can do it. I did it. And I know a lot of my musical friends were like, man, I can't believe you're still alive. People that I run into now that I'm playing is like, wow, dude, I thought you were dead. So
oh my,
it got pretty bad for me.
Yeah, I worked in 2 state prisons as a correctional officer for a short period of time.
Oh, okay.
I'm qualified to teach in the university's criminal justice studies, and I needed experience, so I went there. I have to say, I saw a lot of things there that made me very sad. And, I eventually my time was over and I got out of it, but I would not want to do that I know some people like me maybe are just too unable to separate themselves from the struggles of others. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we call that compassion fatigue.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I had that.
Right, wow, big words. John knows big words. No, that's about it. I actually wrote down a bunch of big words here so I could sound smarter than I really am. But it's really easy to get burnt out, in this field, because it can be overwhelming when you're constantly around people that are continually destroying their life.
Yes.
And not listening to, not taking some of the lessons learned and but we get it. It takes what it takes. So we never give up on anybody, because if people, if I got what I deserved, I would not be here right now. A lot of people didn't give up on me.
Well, I don't know much about alcohol or drug addiction. Never had that opportunity, thank God.
Good for you. We call you Naomi.
But I did get addicted to cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
And I had, it started when I was like 12 years old. And in 1976, my husband was in ROTC. And of course, I was allowed to do certain things. And I wanted to shoot in the rifle team with our ROTC rifle team. And when I tried to hit these targets, these little tiny targets, 500 feet down the rifle range, I learned real fast how much you can shake. So I put the cigarettes down, put the coffee down, and I got a few trophies after that. But it was worth it. But I know it was a struggle. It wasn't the kind of addiction I think that drugs and alcohol are, because I was able to stop cold turkey. I just put it down, and I wanted to do this more than I wanted to smoke.
Right.
But
it can be challenging with the drugs that are out there now. They're really, really powerful, and it's they're very effective at what they do. They go right to getting the buzz on, and so it's challenging. It's a tough environment, but it's rewarding.
So I do know something about music healing. I mean, I'm not an expert or anything, but I read enough stuff to know that music, it uses every part of your brain. And you're a musician, you're doing yourself a great favor for yourself. The brain cells you may have lost along the way. And you have this group, as part of your job. You were telling us about it. And was that your thought as a form of release in a way to heal?
Yeah, well, we call them coping skills. So developing coping skills is what Therapeutic Music Group is all about. So using music, because a lot of times when we an individual struggling with staying sober, it's you get triggered, and when you get a trigger, you get a craving, and when you get a craving, that craving can be so powerful that you think that you are going to die if you don't get your drug or your drink, right? That's it. Anybody that's ever been around that knows, is like wanting to have a drink and needing to have a drink are two very different
things. Yeah.
Right? And when you condition your body to, needing a substance, and then you take it away from your body is going to say, hey man, I'm just getting used to that. I really like that. Give it to me now.
Back.
Right. And so that craving comes on a lot of times. If you can intercept that by using a coping skill, because that feeling of like, I need a drink or I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
That doesn't last forever. If you can find a way to distract or delay from that. So that's what we come up with coping skills. It can be anything. Some people like to exercise. So you're just engaging your brain and moving that tunnel and focus, that tunnel vision and focus away from that I need to, okay, well, I'm going to do this and let that dissipate. And then you can get back to your day. So, but music is a great way to do that. So that's why, incorporated music therapy to teach patients, like, okay, this is how you develop a coping skill. And you can use music because anybody can use music.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be a musician to use music as a therapeutic device.
Wow. So where are you going from here?
That was a counseling session. So the rates are going up here.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
There's a movie, a sitcom on TV where this guy, his name is Charlie, and I can't think of it. 2 Men and a Boy or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You remember that? And yeah, I got a firsthand look at that stuff. It was fun, but nevertheless, that had a moral to the story there. Just to watch that. So moving right along with what you plan in the future, what do you have on your board, or do you have on your calendar for gigs? And obviously you're going to be playing with Rodney. So what does your future look like here, and what is your plan for the next 5 years?
So coming up, I joined Hot Rodster band. We've been together for a little over a year.
Oh,
Rodney had the band going before that, but I played with Rick Haugen, the drummer. So Rick introduced me to the Hot Rodster band about a year ago, and it's been amazing. I mean, they're not only are they the nicest people, they're really, really talented. And Rodney, I mean, he's just so dedicated and driven and, building this thing up. So right now playing with a Hot Rodster band, because I love to play bass in a band, that I keep my weekends open for that. And we're starting to get some day stuff. And it's just a really, really fun band. And I love the guys.
Yeah.
So that's going, and Rodney's continuing to build it and get more shows. Yeah. So that I have that. Then I have my single act that I've been doing.
Right.
So I've been playing, like last night was CCR. So I try and do off nights with that. And I'll play the Oxford coming up next Monday. I think it's like the 31st.
Okay.
It's the Monday after next.
Right.
But I post my schedule on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Which you can just type in John Case and you can see I post my schedule. So then I play like Ingalls down in Edmonds.
Yes.
Yeah. I was scheduled to play Village Wines this Thursday, but that got canceled. They're doing construction.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up that, but I play assisted living facilities and memory care facilities.
Yeah.
So I do probably 2 or 3 of those a week where I go and do, it's kind of like my therapeutic music group.
Yeah. I went, I joined a band, and that I stopped for 8 years. I couldn't handle it anymore. I had cancer, I was so tired I couldn't stand on be on the bandstand anymore. And I joined finally in 2019. I joined the I joined the Redmond senior band, and then I got inducted into the Bothell Senior Volunteer Band, and we did all that retirement homes or whatever. And if you remember when COVID hit, we had just done a gig at the Life Center in Kirkland.
Oh, right.
And right at that time I had COVID, but I didn't know it. I didn't know what it was. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy time.
Yeah.
It kind of shut everything down.
But, when you go in and you play for these people, I mean, we've played for some people that were pretty sick. They were, and my gosh, there you could see their feet, their toes moving. Were, if they were,
power of music. Yeah, I played memory care facility, and there was a lady there. She was with her daughter, in the crowd, and she was kind of singing along, and the daughter was like, wow, she hasn't spoke, in 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
But yet she was singing along to the music.
Yes.
That is why I do what I do.
Absolutely.
So I'll sing Living on Sponge Cake, Watching the Sun Bake.
All right.
I've been playing it since it was new.
I love that song. I'm just learning that now with this guy in a different key, and it's like, I thought I knew this song.
Yeah, but it's not about me, right? When you get up to play, you have to change your mindset. It's not about me and what I want to do. It's about take care of the crowd.
So looking back over your career, I ask this question a lot, and I people listening, I'm sorry I do, but it is just a moment of curiosity, because there's so many different answers. Every person I ask answers it differently to some extent. I mean, it's obviously a structured question. But what was the best and worst time in all the times that you've been singing, whatever band you're in? What was the best and the worst thing that ever happened to you? The first one is, good thing happened to you that you said, oh, I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for that moment.
Oh, that is a different answer, John.
You probably never heard that answer.
No.
To narrow it down to just like one thing. I mean, there was bands that I played in that I thought, wow, this is great. I'd have to, back when the Davenos were really cooking and we just got the thing off the ground, it was some of the greatest times of my life. And of course that goes right into the worst when my best friend had to fire me because I couldn't, stand up on the stage anymore. So that was an easy one for me.
Yeah. Well, yours is a happy ending story.
Yes. It's not all doom and gloom. It was a tragedy. And that's one thing we always have to say is that's the journey I had to make. Right. So going back and changing anything, no. I don't want to look at it that way, because it's all of those things combined together that got me to the point now where I've helped people get sober. I walked into a grocery store and there's a guy, over there in the produce aisle, and he's like, hey, John. And, he didn't lose his house. He didn't lose his wife. He still got his kids. He has his job. He's doing great. And he's been sober for 4 years. So that's just one story of many, many, many stories. So my path apparently was to do this.
Yes.
You can't fight your path, No.
Wow, great story. So was that the worst moment in your music career when you had to quit the band that you really cared about?
Yeah, you mean when I got fired?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, right. I know it sounds better when I decided to step down. Nope, that's not how it happened. It broke Jerry's heart. It was definitely, he's Italian. It was definitely a scene from The Godfather.
Yeah.
You know, you broken my heart, Johnny. You broken my heart.
That's so Jerry.
Yeah, it is. It is, Jerry. But you know, we're still really close. You know, he didn't completely abandon me, but you know, just waited until I was ready.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the lucky ones who managed to, pull out of all this, and then on top of it all, do something constructive with what you'd learned. I mean, that's not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had.
Anyway, I'm back playing music now, so everybody come on out, see live music. That's one thing I can say. There's a lot of people out there that are so supportive that come out to all the shows, and I get shout out to all those people. We love you. Thank you. You know, there's people that are regulars that come out all the time. That's so supportive and so well received, especially Hot Rodster Band. I know Rodney feels the same way. Thank you for supporting live music.
There's another comment. It says Rodney Landard, Angel of the Wings, now booking another gig for us, John.
Yay.
I'm not sure who's saying that.
Hey, Rodney.
That's Rodney.
Go, Rodney, go. Uncle Rodney.
Great. I want to go back there. I find my time so limited now. I mean, I'm got my fingers in too many pies.
Yeah. And thank you, Joy, for doing what you do. I mean, this is supportive. You built this the Facebook page and all this. I mean, that's huge. That's so supportive.
Yeah, I was floundering when I made my CDs, and I didn't know how to get my music out there, didn't know what to do. And I took a marketing course from a young lady called Kira Michelle. She's another singer here, singer-songwriter. And I took this course from her to learn how to market it. And one of the things she said is, why don't you play on stream? And I'm like, I don't play by myself well enough to do that. I don't have the confidence to do it, and I don't like doing it. But I did. She kind of poked around until we came up with something like this. And she said, well, what are you really passionate about, interested in? Do you have something in your life that you are? And at first I was about abused women, but I finally settled on helping musicians since I was struggling to become better at it. That's how it all started.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, a million times I've said no. I don't. I'm full of this. I'm too much work, blah, blah, blah. But, it's at moments like this when people are appreciative of it and the fact that they enjoy coming here and telling their story. And the people listening get to hear things that they're not going to hear at a gig.
Mm-hmm.
And so they find a little more about you, because isn't that what it's all about?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, making connections.
So we have about 8 more minutes.
Okay.
And along with that, obviously, I kind of know how you might answer this because we've been talking about it throughout. But what advice? Thank you, Rose. She said, "Awesome, Joy."
Oh, thank you.
What advice would you like to impart, given your life journey with music and now your career? Do you have anything that you'd like to say? Because all of us, even me, I don't do it because I can't and don't want to. But you don't know. I mean, who knows? Somebody could slip you something and whatever. But what advice did you give people that you've learned from the journey?
Yeah, I think the most important part of playing, like I mentioned a little bit before, I mean, you got to be able to play your instrument. You don't have to be a virtuoso. You don't have to be the best player in the world.
Unless you're a perfectionist.
Important. If you really want to break it down, it's important that you're able to play your instrument. I think the most important part, at least for me, was to be easygoing and be a nice person. If you want to be in a band, if you aspire to be in a band, it's more than just playing your instrument. You got to be able to work with a team, be supportive, be on time,
Yeah.
have a vehicle that works, you know, help set up the band, help tear down the band, do something to get involved, to be helpful. That's how I got into the bands, because I was not as good as the players that were auditioning for these bands. I'm 10 years younger than all these guys. These guys are seasoned pros, and I was just this young guy. But I had a vehicle that works. I was easy going. I didn't complain about the set list. I didn't say I refused to play that song. I was just don't be a jerk. You can go in there, be helpful.
How do you? I don't know how to tie this in, but and I don't know if you want to answer it, even if I did. But there's temptation there. I don't care what age you are and how committed you might be to your family or whatever. When you go out and you mingle with the public as a musician, there's temptations. Some people succumb, some people don't. What you thinking about something like that, and maybe how to avoid it?
So this is advice a friend of mine gave me a long time ago. He told me, he said, we're there to create the party, not be the party.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in there to create this environment. He was more talking about my drinking.
Yeah.
That was, his name was Lloyd DeBar, very, very talented musician. Lloyd. Hi, Lloyd. Love you. But yeah, I remember him sitting down. We're playing at the China Clipper back in the day. And he's like, look, we're not here to be the party. We're here to create this atmosphere. So creating that atmosphere, and it's okay to be, you don't want to be standoffish. You want to be able to, for lack of a better word, flirtatious, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
But knowing that is, you're at work. You're at work, and there's certain lines you don't cross. It can be unprofessional. Not to mention, back when I was younger, I have some experience of this. It can be a nightmare if they all show up at the same gig at the same time. You got a lot of explaining to do. It's my sister.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, but there's one thing that I have to say about age, and that is, some of these things are no longer the issue.
No, that ship has sailed.
That ship sailed.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that anymore.
But and Lynn Sorensen, I don't know if you know him. He's a bassist
I do.
as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He said, whatever happens on stage stays on stage. Basically. I mean, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's not meant to be whatever. It's just having fun.
I think a lot of us, when we get on stage, we kind of take on a little different persona.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the person that I am when I'm up on stage is not really reflective of who I am off the stage.
Exactly. Yep.
We're all kind of dorks if you really want to. You ever hang out with some musicians, you get off stage and think, wow, these guys are so cool. And then you get to know them, you go, these guys are dorks. We're all kind of dorks.
We all have our problems, that's for sure.
Out of the yeah. We're not as cool as we think we are.
That too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess that kind of brings us up to anything you would like to say about upcoming gigs or what you're working towards as far as the solo. Yeah. I mean, where do you see your solo acts going at this point? How would you like to develop that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would really like to be playing some solo shows during the week, and maybe, doing some wineries or something, playing that 2-3 hours. And I just keep developing that part of it, and also the Hot Rodster Band, getting that, more dialed, and it's getting better all the time. That really has the potential to take off. So I'm kind of nurturing both projects right now and writing songs in between.
Right.
while I'm doing my therapeutic music group. So everything is just kind of revolving together, you know.
Yes.
Never
Yes.
a dull moment. I never know what I'm going to be doing, what instrument I'll be playing. I might play bass, I might play guitar. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a plan, John.
Yeah.
So it's time to wind it up. It is just hit
Yay.
1 o'clock. So I do want to thank you for coming and telling us your story. I
Thank
think you're
you.
amazing at
Thanks
with
for
what
having
you've
me.
accomplished in your music and your songwriting. And I wish you all the best in that journey.
Thank you.
And I will see you again when I go see the Hot Rodsters.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You're very welcome. I'm going to do a follow-up. I just want to ask you if you can, all these comments that been coming in while we were talking, do you
Mhm.
have the time and a chance to get to answer some of these people, I think, or at least say hi or read them?
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm not sure how to do that.
Oh, when you go to Matured Musicians, this will come up. And
Oh,
I
okay.
will
Oh, yeah, it'll
also
be on
send,
Facebook.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
also send you
absolutely.
the YouTube link so you can put that on your anywhere you want. I mean, it's yours.
Yeah, no, I know how to do it now. I do it
All
right
right.
on Facebook.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you again, John. I'll
Thanks.
see you soon. All right.
Okay.
Bye. Well, that's it. I have another guest coming next Tuesday. And the following Tuesday, August 7th, is my anniversary. I had someone booked and they got called to do something else. And so it kind of left it open. And when they did leave it open, I realized that it was my anniversary, and my husband and I would probably like to go do something together on that day. So until then, I see you next Tuesday. Do remember, August 7th, there will be no show. Thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you down the road. And I'm going to try to end this gracefully. All right, here we go.